I'm your host, the 7th Wonder of the World, Taj Mahal, and this is the 7th Wonder Podcast. And like that, we are back at another episode of the 7th Wonder Podcast. I'm the host, Taj Mahal, the 7th Wonder of the World himself. Got Deidre right by my side as usual. Wouldn't have it any other way. Deidre, thank you for tuning in.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Thanks for having me. And I'm glad to be back for what's this, like my episode 4? 5. Episode 5.
Episode 4 or 5 until infinity.
Either or, I'm back.
Yeah, that's all that matters at the end of the day. But first things first, I want to send my condolences out to Andre Harrell's family. Rest in peace. The producer, executive extraordinaire, most notably famous for signing on Sean P. Diddy Combs, who started off as an intern for him. Unfortunately passed away last night at the age of 59. Also, we lost Little Richard.
Yeah.
Another staple in the
pioneer of rock and roll, as he even said himself. I'm the OG, and the other folks came and stole it.
100% true, man. It's crazy how that game goes, but he unfortunately passed away. I believe, was it today or yesterday?
I'm not sure. It could have been. I would say today, maybe like in the AM.
Today he was, I believe, 86 years old. So I wish nothing but the best for their families and during these tragic events. But I had to get that out, man, because especially with Andre Harrell. He had Heavy D in the Boys. You feel me? He
had Mary J. Blige. He had that whole Uptown record label.
Riley, he had Tim Riley on the joint, producing all the New Jack Swing joints. Jodeci,
right? Christopher Williams. Everybody be thinking I'll be sure was the only light skin back in the day. Now we had Christopher Williams, who was like his evil twin, him too.
Yeah, and it's just, and I also read that he was behind the TV show New York Undercover, which was extremely popular back in the mid 90s or so. So I remember watching that after watching like Living Single come on. I used to always see New York Undercover come on. I didn't know he was behind that, and he was behind Honey.
Whoa. I didn't know that either. Okay, that's a little. So Honey was like one of my favorite movies when like I was in elementary, middle school. A lot of people don't know that movie was actually originally written for Aaliyah, but that's another side note. But yeah, I didn't know that. Wow, I mean, they don't make them like that like how they used to, man. R.I.P. to Andre.
100%, but I definitely see where Diddy got the game from and ran off with it and turned it into something even bigger. So yeah, definitely he will be missed. Nevertheless, though, to get back in the right tone of things and get things moving in the right direction, as usual, I got a special guest with me again. Maybe not as controversial as my last guest. Shout out to Ricky. We appreciate
that. Shout out to Big Brother at Big Brother Glow.
Yeah, that was one, man. I tried to fight for the city, man, but I don't know. We might have lost that one, but hey, the spirit lives on. But nevertheless, my friend here, man, she's a travel extraordinaire, I would say. Wonderful friend that I've known for quite a while. Have been very intrigued by her travel and her blogging with all the different places that she goes to. Just want to know why I never got the invite. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Trisha James.
Hi, everybody.
Trisha, what's going on with you, man? How you been?
I've been good. Just staying inside.
Hey, unfortunately.
Circumstances. What did you say?
I said, unfortunately, right?
No more. Because if Trisha could have been outside, she would have been outside.
Girl, I've already missed about 2 trips that I was supposed to be on. Due to all this corona business.
I know you missing out on a whole lot, man. We were just talking behind the scenes about Carnival. I mean, it's just a Carnival in Atlanta that's was supposed to be coming up this month, but let alone, ain't no telling, like, you're going to probably miss out on all the carnivals at this point.
Not even miss out. The carnival missing out on itself. All of that stuff is canceled.
Yeah.
Or, as they say, postponed, but it's just canceled.
Right, just say right. Don't do the people like that. Just get to the point. It's canceled.
It's canceled.
Okay, have y'all heard of Soca Uber Cruise?
I went on it last year.
Stop, man. Trisha be all around the globe. Oh my god.
I
How
did it
was it
last
though?
year, but it was a marathon. Like, honestly,
It
that
was like
was
so much
the
fun.
trip that made me realize that I didn't have it like I used to, because it's literally just nonstop on the go partying. It's a
On a
lot.
boat though.
You
But it was
gotta,
fun. It was fun.
yeah,
It was
you gotta have that energy for carnival. Like I'm from the Virgin Islands. I think Taj had run that by you. I'm from the Virgin Islands, and our
Mhm.
carnival, like it's 3 islands, but like it's mostly St. Thomas and St. Croix, who has like a very big carnival. The island I'm from, St. Croix, our carnival is like around Christmas time in December, and St. Thomas carnival is like in April. And when I tell you, from Juve to the children's parade to the adults parade, and just like nighttime activities where like local acts come out, it's you need that energy. So I believe you with that when you said
right.
that on the cruise is like a marathon. It's really nonstop once carnival's in the air.
Exactly. Every carnival, when I bring a lot of friends that have never been before with me, every time I do some type of carnival, and I tell them it's a marathon, not a sprint. Just start off slow. Don't start taking shots thinking that you're going to be able to hang the whole time, because you're not.
Yo,
Eat,
how many rum
pace
punches can you
yourself.
take? How many rum punches can you
I don't know, because like the type of person I am, when I finish my drink, I'm like, okay, I need more. Like, so I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
I would say the only people that could probably hang with us for this party and carnival stuff is probably Mexicans and maybe a Greek wedding. That's it. That's
Mm-hmm.
the only two that's probably seeing us with that. But yeah.
Right. Because when I told them, okay, yeah, there's some fetes, some parties that we go to, and they start at like 1, 2 a.m. They're like, what, they start at 2 a.m.? I'm like, yeah, that's
Start
that's
at
how it
2 in the
goes.
And
morning.
these
When does that
pussy
end?
ass clubs. Sometimes it ends like 5, 6 in the morning. Believe it or not, it can go. It can run to that.
Even
Wow.
9 in the morning, like,
Yeah, look at that. Like that's me saying early times.
right.
Oh, I just say
Yeah.
like these clubs out here is closing at 1, 2. You know, what I mean, pussy asses can't even hang.
The night is so
Meanwhile,
young.
right, so young.
What's the audience looking like at the not necessarily at the carnival, but like on the on the Soca Uber cruise? What's the like the age range does that look like to you? A lot of young
Um,
people.
it starts from young adults to even older people. Like, everybody just comes down there to have a good time. One thing, because the demographic is mostly people from the Caribbean, West
Mm-hmm.
Indies,
Hmm.
and people from the Caribbean love to party no matter the
Mm-hmm.
age. Like, even when they get older, they still out partying. So it's people in their 60s on that boat. Like,
Oh man, what
yeah,
grandma partying 2, 3
yeah.
days in a row?
Yeah, you can't call them no grandma though. They still be out there. Like, they might be moving a little slower, but they still like to have their drink, like to hear some good music, and just have a good time.
And that's what it's all about. But
It really is.
what about you, man? So get the people a little bit about like what about you? Like tell them what you got going on right now as far as your blog and everything.
As far as my blog, okay. Well, due to everything's kind of on a standstill. I don't really want to force the content. I feel like a lot of people try to force things and try to say, okay, let's write about coronavirus, but that's not really on my heart to write.
Mm.
So, I like to write things that I truly feel and that I'm passionate about. And right now I'm not passionate about corona. So I'm
Right.
kind of just on a, I'm not a,
No.
I'm on a bit of a, yeah, I'm on a bit of a hold up right now until I really feel like, okay, this is something I really believe in. This is something I'm really going to write about and feel good about. So yeah, until that happens, I'm kind of on a bit of a standstill. I do want to
Mhm.
delve into more YouTube though. I will say that.
Before
So
you
that's
dwell
my
into
plan too.
YouTube or any more writing, like tell them about your blog. What's the name of your blog? Like let the people know more about
Oh yeah. So
what's going on with your blog.
right. So my blog is called TJ Was Here. TJ, those are my initials. And I decided to say was here because, I want to leave my mark wherever I
Mhm.
go. And on my blog, I'll write about different itineraries for the trips that I went on, I also really like to write my opinion pieces. So, just about the travel world in general, and just how it's affected me, how I've grown from it, what I think about certain destinations, like with my personal views. So it's a bit of a itinerary blog, but I like to share my opinion as well.
Okay, that sounds super cool. That's one thing. Like, I'm not a huge YouTuber or blogger, but I'm on Instagram a lot, and I like to follow a lot of influencers who actually travel. Like, it's very kind of just cool and neat to just see like people our age at that, just having fun, exploring the world.
Right.
Mostly very inspiring too. So shout out to you, TJ.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you. Yeah, I just
100%.
wanna spread awareness and just, make people happy, make people feel good inside with some of the things that I post. So
How long you
Travel
been
is
doing it though? How long you been blogging about traveling?
So officially, I started a year ago. I'm coming up on my 1 year anniversary on the 28th because I started on my birthday.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah,
I've been
my
doing this
birthday
for
is
a year. A year made
May
uh
28th.
so May 20th would be for you. I did a year of podcasting that was back in April 16th.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. You know on the journey like me. Well, welcome.
Right. Thank you. Yeah. So
Well, some things I wanted to ask you about your blog though, more specifically, to get into to the financial side of things, Um does it get pretty expensive doing all this traveling?
of course, because one thing that people don't tell you are the unexpected expenses that may occur. So
right.
just transportation, sometimes when I go for a
Hotels.
ride, hotels get pricey. Just food, it gets pricey. It does.
How
So,
you set your
Especially
tone for that?
maybe
Oh, good.
especially if you maybe trying to do like what little activities in the area, like you might want to go
exactly.
to like a local club or
Hmm.
something.
Right, yeah. One thing about traveling, you never really know how much you're just gonna spend, but you need to be prepared to spend. So I don't suggest people travel if they don't have money, like to just that is allotted to spend for the travel and any
I hear
unexpected
that. Broken,
occurrences
you're
that
not invited.
right.
It ain't cheap, man. If you was to go on her page and see her pictures, you'd be like, man, this is some expensive type stuff. She
That's what
she
I
No,
party
like.
every night.
don't
That's
get
what
it
I
twisted.
like.
Now, I like to budget. Okay,
Right.
like I like to do my research so that I can really see. Okay, this costs this much. This costs this much. What is in my budget, and what can I do? So
Right. Give yourself a good guesstimate and just always bring a little extra just in case.
right, exactly.
Now,
For sure.
when I went out to I went out to Rome last year with my mom, and we gavelized through the country and stuff, and drunk good wine and stuff. But I'm not gonna lie, man, I kind of exceeded my little limit, and the limit that I even set wasn't even enough. It was minuscule anyway. So when you
Right.
say set a budget, let's say typically what kind of budget are you setting for yourself? Like, how do you make up your budget?
I research, like I just say, okay, these are the activities that I want to do when I go to this location. I think about how many days I'm gonna be there. So that means, okay, 3 meals a day. So let's say I'm there 3 days. So I'm probably gonna need about eight meals. Try to budget that. Like I just kind of think about everything that I could be doing and try to guess how much money that may cost so that I can kind of just have a nice little range. And if it comes close to my budget, then I'll just say, Trish, you might need to relax.
You need to
But
relax.
right.
I'm pretty
Relax.
sure location too has to play into it just for like the currency amount. Like you can
Exactly.
travel somewhere where the American dollar is like God over there. That you can probably come with like a $500 like spending budget and literally ball out versus you go
Exactly.
into a European country or Canada where like the currency is pretty much equal or just the same as American currency that like you like, okay, I know I can't really do it too much. So
Exactly.
location will definitely play into your budgeting as well, right?
Yep, exactly. That's like one of the major things I look at whenever I travel somewhere. I like to look at the exchange rate. I kind of try to research the place so that I can see, okay, do other people say that it's expensive? And I try to
Mm-hmm.
gauge it off of that as well. So
That's what's up. That's what's up. Traveling TJ.
TJ traveling around the world. But how do you keep things interesting though, even though you're doing all this traveling? You know what? How do you plan your trip as far as the activities that you want to do?
I just research. I'm telling you, the research
Well,
will
you,
tell you everything that you need to know. But I like to look at things that are unique to that country and foods that are unique to that country, and I just want to try it all. So you got to be really open-minded to trying new things, and a lot of times I like to go to where the locals go. I don't really want to go to the really touristy areas, I guess, depending on where I'm traveling to, of course.
Right, because
The
girl,
safety
you can go
first.
some places and they
Right.
snatch you up.
Yeah, safety first. But typically I like to go where the local people go, so I can get more of the culture.
girl, you
So I
brave
feel
as
like
hell.
that also keeps things. You said I'm brave.
Yeah, you don't ever get scared. You know what I'm saying? You don't think about like your safety and stuff like that
Yeah,
when you hang
I
with the
think
local.
about that, but I'm a very YOLO kind of person.
For sure.
But I'm a smart YOLO kind of person. Like, there are certain rules that I gave myself that I adhere to. Like, I don't want to go, especially if I'm traveling alone. I don't want to go anywhere out at night. I try to get back to the hotel when the sun's down. Like, I don't go out with myself like that at night. I don't really talk to strangers. I don't. Well, no, that's a lie.
I'm gonna
Not
say
that
you
I
gotta
talk
talk
to
to
strangers.
strangers. How you gonna
Yeah,
be
no, not
low?
that I don't talk to strangers. I don't tell them where I'm staying.
No doubt.
So
That's a great
just just
thing.
being mindful, like being aware of your surroundings, all that is important. So that and I kind of trust myself. So I
Yeah.
feel like that also helps me not be too scared, because I'm like, okay, I use my common sense, so I should be fine.
Would you say that's like your like a huge issue with traveling, or what would you say is like some issues that you kind of come across when you do travel abroad?
um I would say that the issues that I've come across has more so to do with unexpected events that may happen. I actually wrote a blog post about it, where I traveled to St. Lucia by myself, and it was just a series of unfortunate events. Like, I rented a car, the tire went flat.
Oh
Like,
man.
I thought I lost my passport when I was supposed to fly out. Like, it's a lot of crazy, just unexpected things can happen. And I feel like, especially when you're traveling alone, those things really weigh on you, because it's like
Right.
you're carrying all the burden of everything that's happening. And it's like you're in a new place by yourself, and it just gets stressful. So that's one thing. People like to say, oh, traveling alone is great, I can find myself and da 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 da. But you got to be mindful of, it can be very stressful.
You know what? Because I went to St. Lucia myself, and then that's if you're gonna be traveling alone. I do recommend a little Caribbean island like that. The people were friendly, like you said. I was communicating amongst the locals. They treat you like family, and they got some pretty good viewpoints too, man. You go chill and hang out, climb I hope I'm pronouncing it right. The pitons.
Piton.
Yeah, climb the Piton Mountains. It's a beautiful place. I loved it there. It was hot as hell though when I went, and it was like
Right.
September, and it was
See, I
like
didn't climb the
99
Piton.
degrees.
You got that on me.
I ain't climb it either, but if you were to
Oh,
go that way, you know what I'm saying, it'd be dope.
right.
Now when I went, what we gonna do? We grew. It's a spot there where they sell chocolate, and they also let you grow cocoa beans. So when I went there, we planted cocoa beans. We hung at the beaches, the different resorts there. One thing about it though, St. Lucia is small, but to get around St. Lucia, you gotta like
Takes a lot.
zigzag. Oh my god,
Let me
bro.
tell you something. When I went to St. Lucia,
Yo.
I stayed kind of south. So basically, where the Piton were, in the Soufriere area, that's
Yeah.
somewhat south. It's more north than the airport I came in on, but it's more to south of the island. And so I rented a car to go to the north of the island, and it's like when I looked at the mileage. And then I looked at the time it was gonna get there. I was like, "Wait, this don't add up." But I realized it's because there were just so many zigzags going back and forth. You gotta drive slow.
The
It's a
rocks,
lot.
you gotta be careful too because
That's
like going
one.
zigzags, the rocks could fall over and like I saw a car
Yeah.
turn over, some rocks on the ground like a boulder. I'm like, bro, this is dangerous as hell out here. You feel me?
That's one thing I can just say as being as a native from the islands. When it comes to besides like the highways, we have the worst infrastructure for the roads.
Mhm.
It's literally like a back way to get to a popular mall, aka means people is on that route, and it's so zigzag. It's zigzag and it's on a cliff. They even have like
Yes.
they have like our casino that's like on the other side of the island. That's like is more like grass and vegetated, but like is a zigzag and is a cliff zigzag, which is so scary to me because I'm like, folks get drunk at the casino. That it kind of goes hand in hand, and I'm like, the ride home late at night can be so scary. Where like if you just hit that wrong turn, that's it. So yeah,
Exactly.
the islands,
you gotta be extremely careful.
yeah.
And then what made it more difficult out in St. Lucia is, we drive on the left side of the car in America. Out there, they drive on the right side of the car.
On the left side of the street.
You dig what I'm saying? So like, you gotta. I thought I had to be a official NASCAR driver with the pen, with the pendant on my shirt. Like, I could not get around that, man. So make sure that you get your driving skills up to par when you do your traveling for sure. Did you encounter any of that kind of issues when you were out there and about? As far as driving, you said you rented a car, right?
Well, I rented a car and I blew the tire out. Like,
oh well, damn, that's right.
I don't know. I got a little too comfortable when I was on that drive, and I was like going down a hill, and then I don't want to say I lost control, but I kind of just didn't, because of course that switch of the sides of the where you're driving, it confused me a little bit. Yes. So I think I didn't realize how close that the left side of the car was to the curb, and so I think I didn't know what happened. Like, I heard a bang all of a sudden. So then, I stopped the car and I'm like, wait, what happened? What happened? But I didn't see anything. So I was like, okay, well, let me just go. So I tried driving up this hill, and like, I just feel the car just tilting down. I'm like, bro, did I really just blow this tire for this rental car? Luckily, like, I guess this guy saw me. Luckily, he wasn't nobody crazy.
I told you, they friendly out there, man.
Yeah, and like apparently he fixes cars. Like, he had a whole bunch of cars and like where he was. So, and he fixes cars. So he just changed my tire for me because there was a spare. Like, I was blessed because Lord knows I would not have known what to do.
And then how it's set up out there, it's so kind of spread out. So to really come across somebody at that particular time, that probably was right on cue for you. That was a blessing in the sky.
Exactly. Oh my God, a mess.
Dealing with all these kind of problems here, though, like, what's the worst kind of encounter that you had going abroad?
Okay. Encounter. So you mean just with the people who live there? Or?
I mean, shit, you blew out a tire. You had a hard time driving on the left side of the road, on the right side of the car. What about, like, have you encountered anything where, like, I might be going far left. Did you, like, when you were out in, where did you go that I saw that was like, you went all around the world? That was extra liberal. Let's say, I think you went to Colombia. Did you go to Colombia?
No, I think you might be talking about Morocco, probably.
When you went to Morocco, did you see aliens? Like, did you, when you, like,
oh yeah.
Did you like go anywhere where you seen something like crazy happen? Like what was your most eventful encounter? You feel me?
Okay, eventful encounter. I'm trying to think. The only one that really pops up in my head is when I went to Morocco. Like,
I knew it. I knew something.
Morocco's a lot. I will say that about Morocco. Like, it's a very beautiful place architecturally. For sure. But it's the people can be a lot, especially if you're a woman traveling out there. Like, all times of the day, they're just trying to talk to you. They'll just be like, really? "Oh, hey, especially as a Black woman, hey, chocolate, hey, that's like, I'm like, please, just leave me alone." It's a lot. It really is. It's really a lot. It's a lot. Like, I feel like I don't I can't really explain to y'all how a lot it is because like
Morocco and Africa though, right? I just want to make sure
yeah.
because my geography be kind of off, but I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure. So of course they like chocolate out there. Like you ever
Right.
been somewhere where they didn't
But
like it though?
it's North Africa, so the demographics is
It's
a
a
little
little
bit
different, yeah,
different.
different.
It's a
It's
lot
a
of like
lot different.
Yeah,
Arab, yeah. It's Arab, mostly Arab people.
exactly.
It's like
People
a
people be
Muslim nation.
forgetting people be forgetting the Middle East is literally just Northeast
Hmm.
Africa. Like
Yeah,
Middle East is not its own
exactly.
continent or is like its own like it's literally just northeast of Africa that they just literally that's literally middle is literally I think is the most centered place in the earth, period. That's why it got his name Middle Earth. But it is North Africa, which that whole like ethnicity and stuff of people is very much different from anyone that's a little bit down.
Sub-Saharan Africa. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's like it's a Muslim nation. So it's like I
Exactly.
tried to be mindful about the way I was dressing. But honestly, I was like, I shouldn't have even tried because I'm still attracting so much kind of
Hey,
unwanted attention
Chocolate.
regardless.
Chocolate.
my boy
Right.
Akbar, he like, yo,
Chocolate.
he
Yep.
trying to put
Yep. So that is a lot. Morocco is a very interesting place, I will say. But one thing I will also say, I stayed in Marrakesh the whole time. And there are different places of Morocco that have different vibes. So I will say, like, I don't want people to think, oh, don't go to Morocco, don't go to Morocco. Go to different places in Morocco, like Casablanca and stuff like that. So
Casablanca is in Morocco.
mm-hmm.
I didn't even know that. Look, you get to learn about your geography here on the 7th Wonder podcast. It's lit.
Yeah, and it's a different vibe. Like Marrakesh is like the city, so it's really busy, hustle and bustle, all that stuff. And then Casablanca has more of that chill, like you're by the water kind of vibe. So
You're Nigerian too, though, right?
yeah,
So, like, was it an easy transition going from Nigeria, or not sure going from Nigeria, but like how you spend time in Nigeria? Does that correlate to kind of how you would spend time, and as far as in like Morocco?
I will say they had a lot of similarities with the busyness, the amount of people that are just out and about. The whole concept of markets and things like that. But it's different because you're going to a nation where everybody's black when you're going to Nigeria. Like the only thing really does a difference is the fact that okay, I'm American. Like I have a U.S. accent and all that stuff, but you're black, so it's not like you don't feel uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? You don't
I'm
feel kind
glad
of self-conscious about that aspect of
for
yourself.
sure. I'm
So
glad
it's
you
a
brought that
different
up
vibe.
though, because I wanted to know how does your ethnicity affect the places that you travel to?
It affects it a lot. And I tried, honestly, I didn't even want to go to Morocco, but I only went because my friend really wanted to go. So I was like, you know what? I'm always telling people to experience new things. Let me quit being a little punk and experience something new. But I definitely really do take that into consideration because I'm a very pro-Black person. And I will say that that's kind of something that I am conflicted with at times because it's like, okay, yeah, these places are beautiful, but I have the tendency to be like, if I hear something about them mistreating Black people, I will say I'm not going there. I'm giving them my
That's
Black
just
dollars.
right. Big respect.
And a
Yes.
lot of times we see it a lot in America, but we have an Americanized version of what racism is, race.
Right.
When if you go out abroad and like you go somewhere like when I was in Italy, a lot of the people who were from Senegal and Sierra Leone who were there as refugees, a lot of them got treated poorly.
Exactly.
They treated them like trash. Have you ever been to a location where you seen black people and they treated them like trash?
Morocco.
Damn,
Morocco.
really?
Like, yeah,
In
Morocco.
Africa?
Like
Hmm.
they the Black
Like,
people are definitely looked down on.
you
the
see what's going on in is it I was pronouncing it right? Liberia? Is it Liberia?
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Liberia's been having problems for a while.
Yeah, and
What
So
problems
that's
have they had happening? Having
they
having
still
with it?
have slave trades.
Wow. See.
Yeah, and that's in Africa. I mean, hey, if y'all really want to turn this into a history lesson, even though we talk about travel, we could talk about that. But no,
Right.
it's about TJ and her travels.
oh, her block. This TJ's time. You feel me? But
Hmm.
it
No, it's a
is
real thing.
fine though, because I seen how they treat them out in Italy, and as I would, honestly, like I ain't really nobody. You feel me? Like I'm just a regular old Joe. But I went over to Italy, bro. Everybody was in love with me. I guess because though I look African, I'm not, but I got that American accent, and then like, I look Americanized, and I looked a lot different than the Africans that were in town. So they would treat me like royalty, I guess, because they felt as though I came from privilege, and kind of sense you do compared to a lot of these countries. But you know, it did hurt me to see how they were treating blacks out in Italy. It's no cover up. Like, we know how Italians look down upon African people there, and pretty much across the globe. So if you had to, what's a place that you've been to where you were like, besides Africa, clearly, what's a place that you've been to you're like, dang, bro, they rock with black people out here?
You said they do? You said they do or they don't?
Let's spin this into something fun. Let's spin this back fun.
Wait, did you say where they do rock with black people or they don't?
When they do rock, like when y'all come, when we touch down, it's like flowers.
Right.
Parade is
So I honestly, I love the Caribbean. Like, I love the islands. Like, I don't care. I could live there. I'm telling you. Like, just besides from the fact that my family is there, I could really live there. Like, I told my dad, like, I want to live on an island one day. I don't know which one. It's probably not gonna be Trinidad because that's where my dad's from. It's probably not gonna be Trinidad, but I could
probably not gonna be St. Lucia.
Yeah.
My good sis is straight on St. Lucia for a bit.
My favorite island, I love Grenada. That's like my third home over there. I really like Grenada. But there's still so many islands I haven't been to, so I want to go to like all of them.
I want to go to Turks and Caicos. I'm still trying to make a trip out there.
Right.
I want to go out there. That's a very beautiful spot to go to. Yeah, anywhere in the Caribbean, they treat you like gold. You know, so all the Caribbean homeboys, homegirls, you know, loved ones and beyond, like, they've all showed me mad love. So, you know, they made me want to be from the Caribbean so bad.
That's funny. But yeah, that's where I would. Those are my favorite places to go to.
What about when you go out west? What's your favorite spot out west? You know, Western Hemisphere. For me, I love London. I'm actually contemplating about moving to the UK.
Okay, so you talking about like Europe, right?
Yeah, like Europe. No, you might be. I ain't never been to Asia, so I don't know. You might like.
I've actually never been to Asia either, and I was supposed to go this year, but you know how that goes. But
what spot were you supposed to go to?
I ain't gonna lie. Asia kind of on my little my little ban list. Too much crazy stuff.
Oh, here she goes.
Yeah,
what's the conspiracy behind this, girl?
I want
Asia. Ain't looking too inviting for me right now.
I ain't going to China. That's a decision I've made. Like, I'm not going there.
But
I really wanted to go to Thailand. I wanted to go to Thailand. I heard so many good things about that area.
I heard about Thailand too.
I was supposed to go this year, but
I heard it's actually pretty inexpensive.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, the U.S. That's one of those countries in particular. I was kind of, because I ain't gonna lie, I can be a little bit messy. I do be watching 90 Day Fiance and those type of shows, and
we can wrap the podcast up now. You watch this,
bro? Like, it's wild to say the least. It's entertaining, but wild.
I'll be watching it too. I'll be watching
it.
And I just know, I just noticed, like, when they visit certain Asian countries, how, like, you know, not to say impoverished it is, but I just see how much an American dollar can do. So that's kind of what brought up my question from earlier about, like, what you're budgeted. I know certain countries you can really get a lot for your money versus other countries. So, there's definitely one that's inexpensive.
All right, I'm seeing you can stay in beautiful bungalows for like $40 a night. I was like, what? I love inexpensive. I love like green, like, you know, lush places. And Thailand is like that. So I was like, oh, I want to go play with the elephants. Like,
I was just gonna say that. Yeah, you know, they got a lot of good wildlife.
That's a dream destination. I know it's kind of like a lot. It's kind of saturated. Everybody's going over there, but I don't care. Like, I really want to go over there.
Right. Their experience could be way different from your experience.
Exactly.
Well, you know, I want to go to Japan, man. You know, go straight to Tokyo, go check that out, see what that's about as far as styles go. You know, it looks like a clean place. From the research I've done, they're very environmental, very clean oriented, you know, kind of culture. Love to check that out, man. Be a part of that. Plus, I like anime. I'm a geek, so I get to live all of my geek dreams, you know? Get to play video games, anime, and
all the anime you want to watch.
You hear what I'm saying? Who would not want to be a part of such spectacular activity, you know?
Right.
Well, I was gonna tell you.
Especially.
So, oh, go ahead, mom.
Oh no, yeah, I was just gonna ask, like, what's some good advice or just like good traveling tips you want to just share with the audience today, since traveling is clearly like your forte. You have been some places. I'm very impressed. I'm actually going to go check out your Instagram page. But what would you say is some, I guess advice or tips for folks that's, looking to travel in the future when all this Rona shit go away?
Right. I would definitely say, like I said earlier, do your research. Try to do, I recommend to do off the grid kind of activities. Like do the conventional touristy things that everybody does, but also try to find some things that is like unique to the destination that you're going to so that you can really understand and appreciate the culture. I would say keep an open mind because that goes into trying new things. Just keep an open mind. You might learn something. Like for me, I just want to learn. That's the best part about travel for me because I just want to see how other people live and just understand, I guess, the world better.
Right.
So
That is correct.
keep an open mind. That's really it.
That's
And
dope.
research.
So how has like your international travels though? How have they affect your cultural ideals? Do you like take from somewhere there over there and then bring it back home with you? Like how does seeing all these different places of kind of create you?
Right. Um, One thing I try to take away from these places is I want to see how I can relate to the culture. So every time I go somewhere and I kind of learn more about why they do certain things and where it comes from, it just really helps me understand, okay, we're similar in these ways. I like learning things so I can kind of connect the dots, like, okay, this person does this because this and that. So that's one thing I've learned. And I've just learned more about, it's also, even though I might go into places where I have an idea about certain type of people in certain places, but it'll also open my eyes, like, you know what, these people aren't bad people, like, you know what I'm saying? So it just helps me learn about new people. So
That's for sure. You out there looking for love in all these foreign places?
oh God. Oh my goodness. I mean
See, you messed up. You missed your lick. You could have got you a Morocco prince or something. You could have been set.
I'm definitely open. I've been open to dating people in foreign places. I guess because my job allows me to do that. So I've done it before. I don't know if I want to do it again. I don't know. Let's see.
Oh, so that's how you getting flued out. You gonna get you a little something out there in Spain.
No.
On the coast of Spain.
No.
You have views in Greece. Okay.
Oh God, I'm done.
For sure, man. Tell your travel mommies that be in all them locations. I'm looking. Tell them bring them on in.
I'm done. Okay.
It's lit. It's lit. But culturally, like you said, everybody's culture is different, and there's different expectations from different cultures. Have you ever been somewhere? It sounds like besides the Morocco trip, where it's like, okay, you like done something embarrassing because it's not culturally right to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, have you? Like, what was it?
That's something I have to think about.
Like, we shake hands in America, they bow in Japan. Like,
Right.
did you like try to shake somebody's hand? They like, what's going on? Like, we don't shake hands over here. What's she doing?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's kind of the typical thing. Like, if you go to Europe and you meet people, they'll want to kiss you on the cheek. Hey, us Americans, we're not used to all that. Like, so sometimes I'll be like, oh yeah, I forgot y'all kiss over here. So that's like the only thing I can think of, that kissing thing, because it's like, for me, it's like, okay, they're about to come in and kiss me, and it's like I'm not even kissing them back. It's like I'm just letting their cheek touch my cheek, and I hear them kiss. So yeah, that's a different thing for me.
You never had one of the brothers or one of the people over there try to be smooth on you with it? Everybody try to knock you off your feet?
Yeah.
Oh, he went in for the kiss, huh? And somebody trying to go in for
No.
kiss you?
Just greeting wise, those kind of kisses.
Oh, girl. Try to get the scoop.
Even my Trini side does that, and like I don't do it back because I'm not accustomed to doing that.
I gotta get out more, man. I don't think I would know how to act or something. somebody try to come up and like try to kiss me, then I back away because then now I feel bad that I done disrespected your culture, but kind of disrespected me. You feel me?
Now they gotta chase you out the area.
No. Well, these are pretty much covered that as far as like the travel and tips and everything. Here's one thing I want to know. For some reason, I can't. I try to bring like one bag, never works. I end up bringing like 3 or 4 bags, paying $100 each for the baggage fee. What's the best way to pack amongst when it's time to travel and get on the way?
I see a lot of times when I go places, especially maybe if it's like 3 days or 4 days, I'll just take my carry-on because I can make it work like that.
So you wear the same outfit every trip?
No, I don't same outfit every trip. I pack different things, but I'll just try to keep it to limited shoes. Like I'll try to maybe pack like a pair of shoes that go with multiple outfits. So maybe like a neutral color, black or white kind of shoe or something like that. I'll pack maybe like 1 pair of heels just in case I happen to go out. You know, might pack a sneaker, but it just depends on what I plan on doing when I'm there. And just roll my clothes and just consolidate. Like I will find a way to fit everything into my roller board. Okay.
Right. How big is your carry-on bag? Cause y'all be trying to finesse all
No,
you airline people, bro. Like it'd be like an inch high, and then you'd be like, nah, you can't put that in overhead. You gotta go check in. I'll be like, bro, just let me get on with this little bag.
no. So I always travel with my standard rollerboard that was given to me by my job. So it's like I know it's gonna fit into the overhead bin. So
how they treating y'all now that all this corona stuff is going on? What's the game plan for you?
I know for my company, they're doing their best to keep things positive, but it's just very uncertain. You know, they're asking people to take leaves all the time and all this other, no flights to work. Like for instance, I was supposed to be on call in New York this month, but they aren't flying at all out of New York. Not for New York based flight attendants. So I'm just here at home in Atlanta because I'm not working right now. So I mean I'm still getting paid, but I'm just not working. So I don't know. I'm hearing rumors of furloughs and stuff.
100%.
So it's kind of just let's just see what happens and hope for the best. But don't rule it out.
Yeah, man.
So, yeah.
Corona is definitely affecting airlines and all travel plans. Actually recently Warren Buffett sold off a big chunk of his stock out of Delta in the sounds of $4 billion, you know? So that lets you know how the impact that how big of a hit travel has taken right now.
I'm kind of like curious to what travel life is, what this means for travel life after the crisis. Like, you know how like when 9/11 happened, some stuff changed. Like I think after 9/11, we was no longer. You remember when it was never like I think it wasn't like a carry-on limit. It's something that changed. I think so with the water or any item, liquids. Yes, liquids. Liquid limits came into play as well as I think carry-on limits. I wonder, even though I know that's like a whole different thing, you know, I wonder what new laws or like new mandatory laws is going to come into place, which I ain't gonna lie, that's the one thing I've been a little bit nervous about when it comes to traveling, just in the age of corona and after. Like, you know, are they gonna be having to take people's temperatures? Is people only gonna have to be vaccinated to travel? Because I saw a video of Bill Gates talking about that they might implement basically a traveling vaccine certificate, which I feel like is kind of stupid because they want to give it to everybody because they feel like since corona do have some people could have corona not show symptoms, just like what if like a certain area, say if you're traveling to Australia and it's like claimed that like the whole entire Australia country is free of corona, you know, the fact that I might want to travel there and even though I'm not showing any symptoms, basically they're saying that like if anybody want to travel abroad, they might implement you must get a vaccine so you don't go and, you know, infect a population that's completely clear. So just little stuff like that. I know it sounds very science fiction, you know, evil scientist, but like it just makes me a little bit curious how the travel life is going to be definitely after this is over, because I'm one of those. I'm crossing my fingers for us to go back to like living a normal life. But I'll be very naive to think that just knowing how stuff is even shifted right now too. So I hope that don't slow up your travels, Tish. I like you out here.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie. Like I've kind of accepted it because things are. I have a few like predictions just based off of how things are going. Well, for one,
Speak your
going
mind.
back
What's your
to what
prediction?
you were saying, for my company, they're about to start making like masks mandatory for flight
Right.
attendants and
Yeah, I read
passengers.
that.
So
I read that somewhere.
it's stuff like that. It's. I feel like there's gonna be a lot of things that we haven't even seen them yet. But yeah, I just feel like when people do start traveling again, as y'all know, borders have closed, so it's going to be harder to get to certain destinations. I think that flight prices are going to skyrocket just because they won't be able to meet the demand as of yet. Just because I feel like it's harder to cancel a flight. I mean, it's easier to cancel a flight than it is to reinstate a flight, especially if it's like in a different country. So I feel like that's going to be something that might mess people up. And I feel like just traveling is going to be just a hassle, especially if you have to connect to certain places because certain flights haven't opened back up yet. I can see like longer layovers, time that you have to wait for your next flight. Like, I think it's going to be rough for a while. That's my prediction. And I've kind of accepted it. I'm just like, you know what? I can't get too sad or anything about it, and I just have to adapt.
You know what? I would love to travel more as well, but even with me, my biggest fear with traveling is like getting on planes. Like I can't stand takeoff. I don't like nothing until we touch back down on the ground. I hate taking a plane. With all the recent scares as far as the ingenuity on planes recently with like the 737 or what was the Max.
The Max. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dealing with the Max planes. Do these kind of implementations with like how they prepare with like the safety of building these planes ever affect how you want to travel or just travel in general for you?
Not really. Just because like I know they grounded a lot of the Max planes, so not really. I don't really look too deep into the planes. I'm just like I don't really think about those kind of things too hard because I feel like it's just gonna psych me out.
Yeah,
Right.
So I don't really think about that kind of stuff. Like I just don't. I don't even want my thoughts to get there, so I just don't deal with that.
But what about when you're in like these other countries? Now you're not dealing with American pilots. You're dealing with everybody. From what I come to research, everybody's training and the aviation field is different in different countries. Does that ever cross your mind about the captain that's on that plane?
No, because I think their training is just as valid as training here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think it's just as valid. Like, they're trained for a reason, especially if they're working for a large airline, because you can't just get a job. You can't just get your pilot license and then get a job in a big airline. You have to have a certain amount of flying miles and experience to even get that job, like a lot of miles. So that's why a lot of these pilots are old, because it's like they've been flying for so long. That's why they're able to hold that position. So that doesn't really play a role, because I know that if for them to have even gotten hired, they deserve to get hired. So
that's true. I got one more question I want to ask you, but I'm scared to ask you because you still work for a certain company, and then I don't want it to be biased though. So I guess I'm gonna have to leave that out, man. But
well, just ask, and then if it doesn't go, just cut it out.
Yeah, we're going. Who do you like to fly with? Who's your favorite flight?
Well, they don't know who I work for, so I can say anybody.
For sure. Yeah, who you rocking with? They gonna look you up.
Yeah,
now.
you just can't have the boss man hear this.
Yeah. We ain't that hot right now, but we gonna get hot. He gonna hear it eventually. By that time, you gonna have your own airlines.
Right. You know what? I love Southwest flight attendants. I like Southwest.
You like Southwest?
Yeah, I might be biased, and it might be a whole bias thing just because they know that I work for airlines, so they're just nicer to me or something. But I always really enjoy Southwest, like, because they're just more cool about things. They're not too strict. I will say, I might be giving out too much information.
They gonna listen to this. Your FBI agent gonna be like, "Ooh, telling."
I would say and I also like JetBlue because
never did JetBlue.
I like their vibe. I like JetBlue as well because I like their snacks.
Their CEO is a younger guy. You know, I was listening to a podcast called How Things Are Made, and he was on there chatting it up about his experience getting JetBlue started. He's a younger dude. You know what I'm saying? I could see if, as far as being innovative and like going toward the future, I could see them kind of like working some things out. But my favorite is the hometown hero, like Delta. It got to be Delta for me. And then I like British Airways too, man. They treat you good when you go through there.
Yeah. Oh, I will say, I've actually never flown on them, but I put my mom on those flights. Lufthansa, I hear, is a very nice airline as well.
Very nice, man. You know, they come in there sounding like Downtown Abbey, and like they treat you real good on those flights.
Right. Would you like? But I really want to fly on one of those Asian airlines. I want to fly like on a car because I just hear it's like a different experience. So, and I feel like they really just you said because they shit on American flight attendants by far. Like,
really?
They have their game down pat.
Really?
Yeah. Just with how structured they are, like.
I'm about to say Asian people are very by the book. So I could believe that. I could definitely believe that.
Not a hair is out of place. Like I saw that they have walking classes. We didn't have any walking classes. That's why they take up the whole terminal when they walk, because they have a certain way that they have to walk. That's so crazy to me. So I want to.
What's a walking class?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know nothing about that. They have it though.
That's some exclusive behind the scenes
basically work. How to walk in the terminal, like I guess like where your bag needs to be, how you're supposed to be holding your bag, which hand you're supposed to be holding your bag on, the way you're supposed to walk, like.
Oh no.
You ain't never seen North Korea's just army? Like they're very coordinated. They have to. They're very, again, just by the books. They're very, I will say strict, but they're very disciplined with just like, I guess, like with I guess, order, if you want to say. So I could believe that.
Anybody that I met from the Asian culture who let me into their culture to show me the discipline that they have within themselves and just how big that particular moral and value is to them. So shout out.
That's to that. They're about to take over the world.
You better be careful, man. Get in good graces. That's why I said we're gonna go to Japan right now. Yeah, I know they like this black culture too, man. We finna go head on over there, give them a mix of this as soon as this go bad. Well, we're pretty much winding up here. You know, we don't want to also, we want to check out the verses between Jill Scott and Erykah Badu.
What time does that start?
At 7 o'clock.
She's ready.
Yes,
right. I tell you, when I first heard about this, like I think I was driving and I literally like ran a red light, just excited. Like I just didn't even stop. And being real, like again, just with current events, this have been a very rocky week for current events in the universe. Like I can say my personal everyday life has been pretty good and steady, but as far as like the current events and just how stuff has been affecting like the world and us and like Black people in general, it's been a very tough one. I'm trying not to like just be too attached to it, but about that video that surfaced about the guy in Brunswick, Georgia, who got killed on camera. That kind of had a lot of our people very just like sad and just in a very frustrated state. And then we lost like two huge pioneers within like Black music culture, like within 24 hours. So I think the energy is just kind of a little bit like weary. And, we're still in a damn pandemic. We still living in like weird times. So I feel like I'm telling y'all, this is like a huge deal for me. Like this battle. This battle is perfect time, and they're gonna.
And it's a way for us to come together, like and enjoy something. Like I'm gonna be on Twitter watching people tweet about this.
Oh yeah, the joke's gonna be flying too.
Oh man, everybody get your shea butter ready, get your incense going, your crystals, get them right, get your sage burn.
I need to go light it.
There you go. You know what I'm saying?
Get your crochet, get your kufis on.
Right.
I'm trying to get into burning sage, man. Actually, trying to get the vibes right, get the spirits right inside my house. What y'all recommend, man? How I get those vibes going right? You know what I'm saying? I need to get the white sage, need to get the green raspberry roses. What I need.
I don't know about that stuff like that. I couldn't tell you. I'm just a sunlight person.
Talking about for the concert tonight or just period?
Just period.
Not for the concert. I kind of just got into sage. Sage is pretty. I think the one I get is white sage, and me personally, I know some people sage every day. I don't. I literally sage like my room. I kind of redesigned my bedroom, and before I start bringing in like all my new like dressers and clothing racks and like pictures for my wall and like even my new comforter set, like when my room was completely like strip naked, vacuum clean, I sage, and I sage with intentions. Like I give myself a good mantra about like what I want to do with this space and my room. And then I'm also big into aromatherapies. My room literally, I was just telling a friend about this. My room literally smell like peppermint and lavender 24/7, even with 2 kids. I do not play. I like my smell goods. I got my candles. I got my light decor. So I feel like you just have to, those aromatherapies help make your space a lot lighter, and also just like a nice, clean, minimalist space for me to me kind of it kind of give you space for these energies and vibes to bounce around, so you don't feel too cluttered or boxed in. So
white sheets, I love me some white
sheets. Yeah, I do the white sheets.
I think it's energy about it's some energy about the type of sheets you put on your bed, bro. Because I put white sheets on my shit too. You feel me? It just makes me feel good.
Feel like
but when I change them, it feels wrong. I had the Ritz-Carlton dog.
Like Ritz-Carlton. You feel like you got the Ritz for the white sheets.
I'm telling you, rich nigga shit. You feel me? Fly shit only. Well, we can go ahead and wrap it up, man. Trisha, once again, I do appreciate you coming on and being a part of the show. Let the people know where they can find you on your social media. Let them know where they can come see pictures of your blog. Put your info out there for the world.
Yes, well, you guys can follow me at TJWasHere_ on Instagram. Go ahead and follow me. Check out my blog. It's tjwashere.co. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy when you guys come to the website, because I know you guys will.
So I'm about to give you a follow right now.
Yep, TJWasHere_ for the Instagram, and then tjwashere.co. And TJ was here on YouTube.
Oh, girl, I'm loving this. Ooh, I like this little one, the white and black sweater dress you got on. Oh yeah, I just gave you a follow. Go follow my girl.
And she's stylish too. She doing her thing, right? She Liddy in the city.
Go ahead and follow you.
Well, guys, I ain't got nothing else to talk about. My life is boring. I want to appreciate, like I said,
all of our lives are boring.
Nah, well, now. We living through you and your post travel views that you got posted all over Instagram.
I just be scrolling through my camera roll trying to relive. So
we trying to be there. Well, yeah, man, I appreciate y'all being on the show. And I appreciate the listeners listening, man. This is 7th WNDR podcast. We out of here.
Bye.
Bye.